And a good Sunday afternoon to you, Roger Hill of Wuthering Heights, VELCO Weather Hazards forecaster. This VELCO Weather Hazards outlook video is brought to you by 802cars.com, representing 802 Toyota, Twin City Subaru, 802 Honda. They're all located off of Exit 7 on Interstate 89. We have the big picture here. Surface area of low pressure is driven into Canada now. We're on the sort of backside of that system, whisking in some rainfall, and it's been pretty copious, especially in the areas around coastal Maine, where they've had as much as 6 inches of rainfall, even a little bit more than that. 3 to 4, 5 inches in some locations, and even in Vermont, somewhere between 1 and about 3 inches of rain has fallen, and that is now working its way north and getting out of the picture, and eventually this will come to an end later on tonight. We have a big trough of lower pressure moving through parts of Canada on its backside, some of the coldest air we've seen so far this year that's being driven in across parts of Montana, the northern and western plains. And a little bit later on in the week, we're going to see this, especially on about Tuesday into Wednesday. It's going to be cold enough aloft and on our local mountain slopes to add a little bit of white stuff. Yep, we're talking about a little bit of wet snow. Down to the valley floors, it could make for some slippery travel. It may affect areas like Smuggler's Notch and some of the higher terrain. Interstate 89 between Brookfield and Washington, Williamstown, Minden Mountain on Route 5, also up 93, Sheffield's Heights, and then certainly Smuggler's Notch, Route 108. These locations will more than likely see a little bit of wet snow, at least on grassy surfaces. It remains to be determined if the ground temperatures will be cold enough for that to stick. However, it's going to be a fairly close call, as they typically are usually in these first snows that do arrive about this time of year. In terms of gradient winds, we're looking at just a little bit of a breeze now and then, and it will be breezy for the middle part of the week when the series of frontal systems works on through and introduces that colder air coming in out of Canada. However, I'm not anticipating anything strong enough to cause any utility outages. And it does look like we have another weather system along about Friday night, Saturday, that could have a little bit of onset mixed precipitation and then changing back to rain with yet another wet weekend around the corner. But that's a long ways off. Take that with a grain of salt. Let's look at the incremental models. Here's the 06Z model of the European. Looking at the incrementals, we can see that area of low pressure that's located over western portions of Maine. This is valid at about 8 o'clock this Sunday morning. And we're up to about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. That kind of rotates into Canada and starts to actually fill just a little bit before it becomes a little more intense up in the northern parts of Quebec. But we're looking at generally the precipitation being taken with it, although we'll see a stronger westerly or west to southwesterly flow at first and then shifting to northwesterly with a series of frontal systems working on through. Just a little bit of showers on Monday, not a whole lot, but you can see the blue colors, and that means snow. So watch a little bit of a break in the action for basically Monday night into the first hours of Tuesday, and then a little bit of that upper summit terrain, seeing a little bit of wet snow, otherwise rain showers on the valley floors as we work in late in the part of the day on Tuesday. And then Tuesday night, things switch a little bit more to snow, but it's very minor and minuscule. You can see some snow here. This is valid about 11 o'clock on Wednesday. A little bit of effect coming in off the Great Lakes. And this would probably be the most positive potential anyway for a little bit of wet snow down to valley floors would be late in the day on Wednesday and then probably into Wednesday night. And then looking at beyond that part, you can see an area of higher pressure begin to build in for a couple fairly nice days, a little bit on the colder side and kind of more or less near normal in temperature with a 1029 area of higher pressure moving in through New York. This is valid on Thursday. And then that area of high pressure works very rapidly to the east, but we're still left with some decent weather for most of the time, it looks like on Friday. The caveat is if this system sneaks in a little quicker. This is a little bit more of a cutoff low scenario here, and these are a lot more tricky with the models. We'll see how this lands. So I have very low confidence really from Friday and beyond. Beyond the period, but it does look like this wet weather system will eventually work on in. At least that's what we're anticipating with the models. GFS ensemble centered on Montpelier, Vermont. You can see one big rainstorm and not a whole lot else. And looking at the total QPF, this total QPF is fairly impressive. And there's the latest GFS model run. Better than 1.5 inches total. This is, of course, Barre Montpelier area. It looks like this is coming to fruition. But thereafter, look at how flat that line is. Hardly anything to see. This is the temperature atop roughly about the level of Mount Mansfield at 850 hectopascals. So that's the 0 degree isotherm. So anything below that is cold enough for snow. And you can see that that kind of takes place here once we start into Monday. And then beyond that period, it's going to stay that way, getting awfully close to that sort of mixed precipitation potential along about next weekend, at least at the onset. Weather Prediction Center's 7-day total QPF, you can see that it's mostly in northern Vermont, as this is all going to be shifting north and out of the state. We're going to see a lot less precipitation in parts of southern New England, and that's going to spread north as well. And temperatures have been on the warm side, a little bit above normal, and indeed, this is part in what's going on here. You can see some colder air has made it across kind of an axis from northwest to southeast across North America. And you can see the temperature fall with the GFS ensemble here with the max and min temperatures. Notice this at night. We're going to go back into the 20s here, at least that's indicated. So some pretty cold nights are ahead. And that's why we're going to see a little bit better chances for some sticking action once we get into the middle part of the week and beyond. This is snow indicated for Montpelier, Vermont, the grid line here. And so what you can see is roughly Tuesday night, Wednesday, we're into this 0.2 of an inch, 3, here's 1/2 inch, and so forth. So not a whole lot going on, but maybe some down to valley floors. Looking at the meteorological output statistics for the next 5 days of high temperatures, we're going to be running a little bit below normal. This is neutral back into Maine, so the next 1 through 5 days of high temperatures looks like that, and then 3 days later, like this, and we're going to cool those temperatures off. Meanwhile, back off the west and in parts of Canada, we're going to start to build a little bit of a warming trend once again. Kind of ignoring this, but this is a subtropical low Wanda. It's going to be taking a track kind of up and toward Iceland. And then we have one more disturbance that's come off the African coast, 30% chance of spin up. I'm doubting anything's going to make it to North America. And this is some of the model guidance for tropical or subtropical storm Wanda. That is Iceland. This could make it to the UK. That's it from here. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights. Thanks for watching.